Hi, welcome to Analytics for All. This is lesson 5 of our second module for the Python for Data Science course. This module manages data management and data manipulation, and in this lesson we're going to be covering the Pandas module from Python. We're going to be introducing data frames. Now, as with all my lessons, I have a full write-up on my website, analyticsforall.org. I will put a link down in the description for the webpage, but until then, let's just hop over into our Jupyter Notebook and get started. All right. Go ahead and zoom in for you here. And we'll start. Okay. So remember in the last lesson I did that from pandas import series thing. It was, let's see, so you can take a look. It looked like this: from pandas import series. All right. I'm not doing it this time because I just want to show you, you know, this is a different thing. We did this because it allows you just to go right ahead and use the word series. Let's see what happens when you don't. So I'm just going to import pandas the way I normally do. Import pandas as PD. You'll find most people use PD as this abbreviation. But watch what happens when I try to run this series now. It's going to error out because the name series is not defined. So what I actually have to do is go here and pd.series, and now it'll work. Okay. So just to show you that's the difference between this, what I did the last time, this from pandas import series versus just importing pandas. All right. So that was just to kind of show you how that worked. All right. Now let's go to the next thing. We're going to make a dictionary here, a very simple one. I've got job title and employee are my two indexes, and then I've got two lists behind each one. And probably didn't show you, you can do this in a dictionary. You can have a list as part in here. But in all honesty, if I showed you everything you could do with every function in Python, each lesson would be like 3 hours long. So we'll just see things that go along. We'll run this real fast, but it's just a simple dictionary, job title, manager. And I don't know. I look at this and I think it's kind of kludgy, doesn't, not very clear as to how I would access this data versus I'm going to introduce a thing called data frames. Now we're going to take this dictionary and we're going to apply Python data frame. Notice the D and the F are capital in the word data frame. You put the X in there and run this. Now look at this. If you're like me and you came up from SQL and working with Excel, this is so much cleaner looking. This makes sense. I know I have 2 columns. I've got 4 rows, and I can quickly look at this. I can go df, let's index it, okay? Oh, I've got starts at 0, stops at 4, step 1, so we know we've got that. We've got 4 rows, basically. Columns gives me a list of my columns here, and title and employee, which is 2 is very simple to see, but, you know. And I can even run this info thing, and this gives me some information. I've got which column name is with a number. There's no non-nulls. Everything is filled in. I don't have any null values in this paid data frame, which is nice. It tells me that memory usage, the whole thing. Let's go ahead. Let's make a more complicated data frame, a more complicated dictionary, so we can show off the data frames even more. Let me get down here. I want to just get some space up. All right. So, got another dictionary we created. Again, I see this. It's still all these years of programming. I still don't like looking at this. It's not clean to me. But if I take this Y and I apply it using my PD.data frame, remember the D and the F are capital, and I put this through. Now look what I got. That's nice and readable. I mean, I can work with this. This is no problem. I can read through this. I can see I have 3 columns: name, age, salary, and look right down the list. There's a couple features I can use here within the data frames. I can get the head of it, and the head just grabs the first 5. I can get the tail. Notice here I'm actually telling it I only want 3. I could change this. I can say I want, that's because the last ones, I could change it, say I want 4. Give me 4. I could change it and say I just want 2. And obviously you can do that with the head too. I could change that to 3 and it'll return. Okay. So it gives us, when you're looking at, like, in real world, when you're looking at a data frame that might have 1,000,000 records, you just want to look at the first couple to see what you're looking at. That's where head and tail come in handy. This is a really cool feature. I like this. I use this a lot whenever I get, especially as I get new data and I'm exploring it, is the describe feature. Okay, what this gives me a count. It's how many different ages are in there, how many different salaries we got. What's the mean? What's the standard deviation? I get the minimum age. I got the top the 25 quartile, 50, and the max for all these. This is just giving me a nice description of this data set, you know, and very clean description, very nice. I can work on slicing my data. Let's go ahead, before we go slice it, let's just get another look at our data frame, just so I know it's out of screen right now. So I'm just going to move this up and we'll look at our data frame again. And let's slice it. So I'm going to slice it. As you can see, I've got 8 rows here, but I'm going to say I want 2 to 4. Okay. What does it return? It returns row 2 and 3. It doesn't go to 4. Remember, Python doesn't, it ends here, so it stops before that. You can obviously change that, make that 6 if you want. If I made this blank, it would just go to the front here and just start from the 0. But that's slicing, so you can just cut which you want out there. I can also filter. I can say I only want ones where the age is greater than 30. So notice if I start with the name of my data frame, and then I wrap it within this brackets here, just like when we did lists and stuff. But now I go in here and I put the name of my data frame dot age. That's how I know. That's how you indicate a column here. In fact, let me go ahead and just show you. I can do comp dot age. It'll return just that column. That's all it returns. So that's how you get an age. You can, I could go name, whatever you want to do. But so here I say I only want age above 30. And there we go. Now it returns only the people who are older than 30. Notice Jill doesn't return. She's 30. She has to be greater than 30. And finally, let's go ahead and just say, hey, I want to slice it by which column I want to see. So I could just go in here and say comp. I only want the name and the age. I don't care about their salary, and that's what it returns. I hope you can see how the value in this. I really, really like this over just the standard precursor coding like you saw with these dictionaries and lists and all this other stuff. The data frames look clean to me. They make sense to me coming from a SQL type, Excel type background. I can work with this. I find this much easier to work with. I think you'll like it better. We'll be using it a lot in the future going forward, but this is just your first introduction to data frames, and I thank you for joining me. And if you like this video, I want you to click the like button, hit subscribe, leave me a message, let me know. Is there something you want to work on, something that confused you want me to clarify, maybe you want another lesson you want me to work on? As you can see, I do lessons on everything, SQL, Python, R, Excel, even introduction to blockchain, that kind of stuff. But again, thank you. Check out my website. Leave me a note, let me know what you want me to do. And thank you very much. I'll see you next time.